There it goes. There we go, people. We'll call this the Brother Seamus Show. One, two, three, four. Okay, let's go live. I think we're already live streaming over here on the YouTube. Let me see. Connection is excellent, people. Excellent. We're not as yet streaming on TikTok, and I'm about to correct that mistake. This is the Brother Seamus Show. We're going live right now on TikTok and YouTube. At Brother Seamus Show is the handle for both of those. You can follow us on Facebook under the name Humans for Democracy. And that's also the name of our merch store, Humans for Democracy, on bonfire.com. But I'll show you that link in a minute. First, let's listen to my new song that I recorded with my cousin under the band name Ogo Pogo. We don't have anything out yet. This is just a preview of a song. We'll call it what? Electronic dance music, I think is what the kids are saying. It's called Whole Head. Here you go. This is the Brother Seamus Show. Thanks for dialing us up. I recommend headphones. A whole head. How do you like that, ladies and gentlemen? That's a track called Whole Head by a band that we're calling Ogopogo. Ogopogo. And if anybody knows what Ogopogo is, jump into the comment section. I want you to watch this program like you would watch a late night cable access TV show, folks. I don't want you to get too worried about it. I'm just playing with my settings here a little bit. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Saturation. Maybe I need to just deal with the other channel. This looks a little too pink for me, so maybe let's try this guy. Let's see what we've got. We've got the Luma key. Might be the problem. What if we turned off color correction altogether? Is it still working? Let's see. That might be better. I like that better. Oh yeah, way better. That's our double layered Brother Seamus image, and then we can go the single layer Brother Seamus image. If you're watching on TikTok, you're gonna see in the middle of your screen, right here, you're going to see what YouTube is seeing this full screen. But you get a little extra. You get a little extra thing up top, which is where I put my slogan. It's also over here to my left, which is also, there is a sign right here, but I don't really need it right now. Hey, I'm your brother Seamus. How y'all doing? 509-676-6032. Let's double check our phone lines to make sure the phone line is open. But I don't see it. There it is. That's a Google Voice number, people. You call us up. You can leave a message anytime you want. Anytime you feel like it. Oh, it looks like our friend Cliff from the county called. Let's see how Cliff's doing.
Oh, this is Cliff at the Kent County Road Commission. I just want to thank you for the service that you're doing for free.
You betcha.
The internet, got a lot of guys out on the road right now.
Oh, good.
Ice and snow so people can get home safely. The free entertainment and spiritual guidance that you're providing the citizens of Kent County is greatly appreciated.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir.
Recognition to all of that. And just want to let you know your YouTube signal is working correctly, and we are receiving it loud and clear.
Boom.
So, keep up the good work. And,
thanks, bro. Thank you very much. Thanks. That's Cliff just letting us know that things are going well over there at the Road Commission. I talk about three things on this show, mostly abortion, voting, and social media being toxic, which reminds me, I need my other I need my social media's toxic sign so that people at home can see it. Let me get you this sign. Now I've got a hot date with my girlfriend to go watch. We're going to watch a Christmas movie, so I only have about 30 minutes, but I want to make it worth your time. I want to make it worth your time for stopping by today to say hi on a Saturday night. By the way, today, hey, Will, did I tell you I bowled 188? 188, that's right, people.
Throwing rocks tonight.
I'm throwing rocks tonight. So I'm gonna just keep, ooh, that looks good right there in the blue light. Social media is toxic, and I mean that, people. I mean it. I'm not just kidding around. I've been a psychologist for 30 years, and I've never seen anything like it. It's the most amazing lie machine, and it lies to you through emotion. It uses raw emotion to trick people. And I got to be honest with you, people. When I was in grad school, they said my biggest legal responsibility is the duty to warn. And that means if I'm expecting that people are going to be harmed in any way, I'm supposed to warn people. So I'm trying to warn you about social media, and I do think it's we've always had conspiracy theories, right? We've always had conspiracy theories, but we haven't always had social media. And what social media is doing, I think it's activating people in a way that's just too overwhelming for them. And this is not me calling anybody dumb, because I'm not talking about dumb stuff here, people. It's about vulnerability. I'm not insulting anyone. It could happen to any of us. Like, let's say that you just were driving down the road, minding your own business in a, what was your other car, Will?
2011 Equinox.
In a 2011 Equinox, and a deer jumps right, it like runs into your car, which if you live in the Midwest, anywhere there's a lot of deer, you know they love to run right into your car. They love it. And let's say that freaks you out for a minute. Well, during the time when you're having a little bit of PTSD from that, which almost everybody will, especially, God forbid, your airbags deploy, and that scares the shit out of people. Sometimes it hurts them too. Sometimes you get shook up. But let's say you're not hurt physically, but you're in a state, we don't have to go all the way to trauma, but it's a bit of a traumatizing experience, and your brain in that moment is more susceptible to emotional influence. And let's just say, hey, that somebody wants to influence people emotionally, and they want to convince them, to be really afraid of, people with brown skin, maybe. You start saying that these people, because they look a certain way, and they have a certain heritage, that they're inherently dangerous. Now, for a lot of us, we'd be like, nah, that's bullshit. People are people, man. Even the people coming here undocumented, they're looking for work, people. Are there some criminals? Yeah. We got plenty of white criminals too, people. Don't give up hope on the white criminals. We got a lot. We're good. Our numbers are strong. But if you're in an agitated, upset state of mind, if you're not sleeping well, you might really start to believe that people are dangerous simply because they're Mexican, for example. So one of my recommendations that I give to every patient, and I consider you my patient, America. You're my patient now. And that being said, let me also be clear about the fact that because I'm a licensed psychologist, this is not psychotherapy. This doesn't count as psychotherapy. This counts as Brother Seamus church time, people. But I will try to be therapeutic. This is not therapy. But we're going to talk about abortion. We're going to talk about voting. And we're going to talk about social media being toxic. So let's say the deer runs into your car, it traumatizes you, and then you're spending excessive time on Facebook, and they're feeding you articles to kind of see how you react. And let's say one of them is really upsetting. and you click the angry face or whatever. You show your displeasure. Thank you for the hearts, whoever that was. I don't know if I can see on the TikTok live studio who's given me hearts, but I appreciate them. It's very kind of you. So let's say you're traumatized, the deer hits your car. Now there's a window of opportunity where you might be more vulnerable, and then Facebook sends you an article. The algorithm says, oh, look at this. Hey, Will, look at this. And then Will's in a state, and he's like, well, that's upsetting. I'm already upset. And then it can penetrate even deeper, especially if he doesn't have good people. If you don't have good people, you're going to be in trouble. Because some of your people will be like, hey, man, you're tripping out. And you're getting freaked out by these Facebook articles. You got to stop looking at that shit. A lot of it's bullshit. And you don't know what's true and what's not true. And there's no law to make the social media companies be honest. Even me talking to you right now with my striped cup of coffee. You don't know who I am. I say I'm a psychologist. My name's certainly not Brother Seamus. That's my code name, baby. You know what I'm saying, Will? You got to have a code name. Code name. Y'all want to know Will's code name? I don't want to out him. Do you want me to tell him your code name? I think we should. They don't know your real name anyway. Zud. X-U-D. You can hear some of Zud's music. In fact, if he's okay with it, I'm going to use some of his recent broadcasts, a show called Something Television. I'm going to use the sound from that as my backing track for my preaching hour. This is the Brother Seamus preaching hour. Voting is related to abortion, is related to social media being toxic. So on the exam, when I say I'll say social media is toxic, true or false? True. The answer is true. When I say abortion saves women, because they've been telling us a lie for a long time about abortion. They've been saying it kills babies, but of course it doesn't. Oh, now I messed up my own sign. Let's see if I can fix it over here. That's not too bad. Let's try the other side. Is that any better? Maybe. Let's put it like that. So abortion saves women, true or false? True. Abortion unalives babies. False. Now I know some of you won't like that, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared to talk you through it. This is the Brother Seamus Show. We've got some background music by Wicker Basket, who you can find on SoundCloud. Wicker Basket. Y'all want to see a picture of Wicker Basket? Let me show you right here. Let me put him over there in the big screen. So this is Wicker Basket is today's church organist, if you will, except he's not playing an organ. He's playing some kind of keyboard. Or sorry, he's not even a keyboard. It's just some kind of box with knobs, people. You may disagree with me, and I respect that. I understand that. I used to think abortion was killing babies too, but I realize now it's not. let me see if I've missed any questions. I'll do my best. I will do my best to keep up with your questions, but, however, I do miss some, and sometimes it's just hard to, it's hard to know what people are saying. So please express yourself. And we've got a 75 minutes left on a poll, which if you're watching on YouTube, you can't take the poll unless you go over to TikTok at Brother Seamus Show. So come take the poll if you're on TikTok. I'm not seeing any chat so far on YouTube, but my buddy Ronnie G usually gets on. Usually Ronnie G jumps on and says a few things. Now, if I like your name, I'll follow you. Or if I like your comment, I'll follow you. If you're on TikTok, let's see how things are going over here. There's 3 or 4 people watching. That's nice. I want you to enjoy this show, both live and later in the replay, in not the simulcast, but the replay of the live. I'll post it to my Brother Seamus account on TikTok and YouTube. If you follow me on both, you won't miss anything. Sometimes I make something on TikTok for TikTok, and I usually remember to put it on YouTube, but not always. I have a lot more followers on TikTok, so I tend to do more stuff there. But if you're over on YouTube, give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. I'm under 100 followers on YouTube, but I'm almost to 1,000 on TikTok, so I appreciate that. And I'm hoping my audio sounds good. I should be monitoring in headphones, but I don't like wearing headphones during the show. So I'm going to run this audio, a wicker basket, a little quieter. So we're here to talk about abortion. Obviously, I'm kind of stuck on this topic, people. And it's because we don't have to go completely down the rabbit hole, but I'm just so distressed by the fact that in 2024, a woman can walk into an emergency room and they have a procedure that can save her life, and they won't let her have the procedure. That's what it's come to. It's not in every state. And a lot of people, like in Washington State and in Michigan, they'll say, they believe, and I'm not saying they're completely wrong, but they'll say, oh, we're safe, though, in Michigan. Somebody said that. We're safe in Washington. We're safe in Kansas, even, because they passed a ballot initiative. Well, 2 things. One is if they do a national ban, which 3, not 1,000. You lied already. Are you saying I lied, Jasonist? Jasonist Live? I didn't lie. 3, not 1,000. I don't know. Anyway, see, sometimes I read the comments and it throws me off my preaching point. If they pass a national ban, and you don't know. Donald Trump says he won't, then he says he will. The people that got him in there desperately want the national ban. That will override state law, as I understand it. So it doesn't matter that you amended your Constitution to guarantee reproductive rights, as you should. Women should not be dying for the sake of fetuses. That's another position I'm going to take here, and you may not like it. But we've gotten so caught up with the idea that they're babies. They're not babies. They're on their way to become. I like to think of them as potential humans. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, they have all the DNA. From the moment of conception, they have all the DNA. But so does my little finger. And what if I chop it off in wood shop class? And then the class chicken that lives in the back, the rooster, grabs my finger and just swallows it whole. And now I lost my full genetic DNA there. But that wasn't me. It was a piece of me. So when the sperm enters the egg, growth begins, but it's not immediately a person. Well, what is a person, you might ask? Thanks for the follow. I like your name. Oh, I love your name. You got emojis in your name? Kamala Cat 2024. Are you Kamala Harris, the president? Or, sorry, the vice president? I'm going to follow you just in case you are. Oh, I like your TikTok name, cat.turdo. Hey, you've got 1,227 followers, Cat. Kamala Cat. What is your secret? Tell me your secret. So the sperm enters the egg. It is a change. There's a fascinating thing that happens when the sperm enters the egg, but it doesn't necessarily immediately turn into a person, but we anthropomorphize, right? That's what humans do. We give human characteristics to, first, basically the embryo, right? Well, first it's not even an embryo. It's a fertilized egg. A blastocyst, if you will, for about 10 days, I believe. And once it implants and the egg hatches, okay, it's not a person in there yet. You don't get to say that's a person. This blastocyst cannot survive at all, and neither can the fetus until it reaches viability. It cannot survive at all without the woman's body, the uterus, right? It's a piece of her, and that's why she has to decide with her doctor what the best course of action is. And here's the thing, you don't have to agree with me. This is the troubling part. You don't have to agree with me on abortion anymore. You might think abortion is wrong and have a miscarriage from whatever natural occurrence, genetic, maybe your blood pressure is a little too high, maybe the sperm entered the egg and they weren't a good mix. Mother Nature makes her own decisions, and very often, especially in the 3 months, Mother Nature pulls the plug on the project and says, "Nope, we're not doing this one," and it ejects the material, the embryonic material, assuming it's made at 10 days. It might not even make it 10 days. But the human with the uterus ejects that, but it doesn't always work. And then guess what? You need an abortion. They call it a D&C, but because the procedure is called an abortion, it's illegal in Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Idaho, and in Missouri, they just guaranteed a reproductive health access, but it only passed by 52%. So now this Missouri state legislature is trying to kill the amendment against the will of the voters. They're trying to cheat in Missouri, and they're going to use a lot of bullshit stuff to do it. But keep in mind, and at the end of the day, if you're in Missouri, tell them to sit on it and spin. You guys passed a legal ballot initiative. But they're so desperate. Everybody's like, why are they doing this? Because they're so desperate for power, people. They're so desperate. And that's how these folks are. I've been a psychologist for 30 years. The advantage that they have over, like regular people, is that they're so hungry for power. Let's do a fade. Let's do a 20,000 millisecond fade. They're so hungry for power that they keep after it and they keep after it, and they so desperately want to control women. And guess what we didn't do? We didn't turn out at the election the way we need to. The way you defeat extremists. The nonviolent, legal way to defeat the people that want women to die in the emergency room, whether they know it or not. That's what they've caused now. Even if it's and here's an argument I'm already sick of. Even if it's only a few women, you don't get to kill women just because you have a strong religious belief that life starts at conception, because that's what it is. It's a religious belief. It's a strongly held moral conviction, but you can't prove that. And in fact, I think there's a much better argument that life doesn't begin until you become conscious, because that's how we decided on the other end, right? If you're in a terrible accident, if you have a TIA, if you have a TBI, if you play too much football and you bleed out and your conscious mind is gone, the connections between the thalamus and the cortex are destroyed, then you can't sustain consciousness after that. And at that point, most of us realize, well, this person's not here anymore, because your conscious thought, your conscious self, your awareness of yourself and your surroundings is who you are. The rest of it's your vessel. It's your body. But until the light flickers on, until the dude returns home or comes home for the first time, there's nobody there to take the call. You might be reacting to pain signals. That's the big argument. They want to say, oh, the fetus is reacting. It's reacting. Yeah, nerve impulses. Do you not remember the frog leg in 8th grade biology with 2 little electrodes and you can make it kick? You know why? Because you're introducing electricity into a nerve circuit. So yes, a fetus will react. And then we anthropomorphize and we name and we refer to the fetus as a baby, but that's the big lie that they've told us for all these years. 50 years of this lie for me. 50 freaking years of hearing this. That's a long time for lies, people. And the difference now, they've taken that lie to social media, and they found their boy. They found their boy that's going to finally load, and he did. He loaded the Supreme Court. And I know a lot of you love the candidate from Mar-a-Lago, whose name I won't say because he might be a form of the Antichrist, and if you say his name, it really gets things messed up. So my point is this: they succeeded beyond their wildest dreams, and now actual women, young women, are dying in Texas and Georgia, and I believe Idaho as well, although I haven't. It's hard to get the information because the governors that signed these laws don't want you to know that women like Navaya or Joselee or Amber or Candace or Portia, they don't want you to know that they're being sent home from the emergency room, or they're too scared to go to the emergency room to begin with, and that they're dying. Nevaeh didn't believe in abortion. She was trying to have a baby. It didn't work. Mother Nature didn't let it happen. And the hospital would not give her the D&C because it's technically an abortion. She was 18. She died. It was her first child. She was really looking forward to having a big family. But because we went too far with extremist points of view on abortion, now the price is women die. And they accomplished a lot of this by convincing a lot of you over social media. It's the Brother Seamus Show. Let's talk about what we can do. What can we do about this problem? We'll talk about that in a second. But first we got to do a little bit. We got to pay the bills, as the people say. I also want to check my levels. I think my vocals are loud enough over the top of this music. But I just want to make sure that you're hearing me okay. Thanks for joining, Rob. You were over on my short videos. I've got a bunch of short videos about this abortion topic. There's more information in some of the short videos. Actually, maybe I'll show you one after we do our commercial. Are you looking for merch? Hi, I'm your brother Seamus. Are you looking for merch? Let me play you my welcome. This is my, I call it my station identification. Here we go. 3, 4. Let me play you my welcome. This is my, I call it my station identification. Here we go. 3, 4. Let me play you my welcome. This is my, I actually recorded that last line, which I did not want, so I'm going to get rid of that. This is my station identification. Here we go. Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brother Seamus. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. To the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. If you need merch and you enjoy the Brother Seamus Show, please head on over to Humans for Democracy. That's the official merchandise site for the Brother Seamus Show. You can find a link in the bio or in the top of the page on YouTube, and you can find it on my profile on TikTok as well. Also on Facebook, Brother Seamus is hosted by a Facebook page also called Humans for Democracy. You can order a Proud Snowflake coffee mug. Yes, I am a proud snowflake. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't believe in those things. I think as a psychologist, I can tell you those are not very useful categories, and I think we should stop thinking of each other as Republicans or Democrats, because I don't think it really tells us anything. I don't think it tells us anything at all about people. So go on over to Humans for Democracy, get yourself a mug, a coffee mug that says Proud Snowflake, and maybe you're not a proud snowflake, or you don't think you are. I would argue, well, maybe you are, and you just don't know it. Maybe you should talk to your friends and say, hey, do you think that being a snowflake is maybe something that could cut across party lines? Do you think that if you get too jazzed up about things, if you get too emotionally involved in things, can you turn into a proud well, you can turn into a snowflake. Will you be proud? I don't know. But I think it's possible, and I think the idea that humans can be divided into Republicans and Democrats is absolutely laughable. Absolutely laughable, people. So get yourself a Proud Snowflake coffee mug if you don't mind. Give it to your friend who's liberal. If you're conservative, or if you're liberal, give it to your conservative friend as a joke. Part of what we have to be able to do is continue to talk. You may find my position on abortion absolutely horrifying, And I appreciate that. I understand that. I support your right to have your opinion. And if somehow somebody showed up, this would never happen, but let's just say it. If somebody tried to force you to get an abortion and it was against your nature, even if the doctor said, hey, you might die if we don't give you an abortion because you're having a miscarriage and the fetus is not going to survive, it's not viable. If you said, if there's one chance in a million to save the fetus, if that's going to happen, that's okay, I'll risk my life. That's your choice, and I would support that 100%. Nobody should be forcing an abortion on you. Now, you might just decide you want to live. You know what I'm saying? You might just be like, hang on, how many more eggs do I have? And yes, we named the fetus, even though the fetus is not conscious of anything right now. And you might think it feels pain, but there's nobody home. It's like when you're in surgery. Who's feeling the pain? Nobody. Your body's feeling it, but there's nobody there to process the pain. Your consciousness is turned off. Well, the fetus has never developed one. Because until the thalamal cortex connections are made, there's no chance of consciousness. And at the earliest, it's going to be around 7 or 8 months before there's any proper connections. Some would say it takes the full 9 months for those connections to be made. So get yourself some merch. Any merch that you buy here, if you support the Brother Seamus Show, any merch that you buy, we also have Be Anti-Racist t-shirts, which are cool. Every penny of that merch goes to keeping this show on the air, buying better equipment to make the show better, but primarily it goes to advertising in favor of reproductive rights. And ironically, I put a lot of effort into I'm trying to get people off of social media because I just think it's really bad for us people. I really do. As your brother Seamus, I want you to think about getting off of social media as soon as you can. I want you to think about the value of human-to-human relationships in your community. And I know it's harder, but it keeps us more human. I think I've mentioned my neighbor Mandy, and she's as conservative as you can be, and I'm sure she doesn't agree with me on abortion, but she's my neighbor. She has 2 kids. They're lovely kids. We don't need to fight about politics, right? We just don't need to. There's a certain amount of privacy we used to have with our neighbors that we don't have anymore. And I think that's a shame. I think we got to get back to that, people. We got to get back to that. Because you know what used to happen in the neighborhood is you would get to know the kids and the families, and you'd be like, oh, those guys across the street, they're Mormons, or those people are Episcopal. I don't think we had any Muslims. We might have had a Hindu family, but you start to realize that knowing their religion or knowing their race doesn't really tell you anything about them. And we just decided, you know what? We don't all need to share our political viewpoints all the time. It's okay to not share everything. And what social media has done is it's tricked us into thinking that we have to tell everyone every negative thought we have about them or their idea, instead of keeping it within like a human community. And I do think people get worked over. They get worked over psychologically, like we were talking about. Let's say if Will had a deer run into his car, which I don't think he'd mind me saying he actually did, and it kind of freaked him out. Now, that's not going to be a permanent trauma, right? It's not a permanent trauma. But he's going to be thinking about that trauma for a while, people. He's going to be thinking about it for a while. During that time, let's exaggerate, this isn't true, but during that time, let's say he's also struggling with alcoholism. And let's go for the trifecta, and his girlfriend dumped him. Or boyfriend, doesn't matter. None of that matters. And so he starts spending time on social media to find comfort. And what the social media algorithm realizes is that Will is vulnerable. And it sends him more things that upset him. And then the part of his brain called the amygdala starts to kick in. And as he reads more of these articles and reacts to them and stays more engaged, the algorithm feeds him more. And it most likely, the science is still catching up, but most likely it's increasing his depression and anxiety. Now he's more open. He's more open to the suggestion, the claims, the fact-free claims that are being made. He loses his ability to really discern what the truth is, and he begins to react to things with emotion. And that's what social media does. That's how it screws us up. But guess what the social media companies did, people? Guess what they did? They made sure you can't sue them. They made sure you can't sue them. It's true. You can look it up. I'll put it in the comments over here. It's called Section 230. Section 230 basically says that the media companies, the internet media companies, the social media companies, are not responsible for what's published. And in a way, it makes sense. Because there's so many people out there, if anybody is saying something crazy or mean or violent, they can't be responsible for what some person writes. However, they're making money off of it. They say they can't stop it, or they say that they can't stop it completely, and it's like, yeah, but you're not really stopping it much at all. You're letting other people tell on other people. Like I got a content warning from my earlier program, or the previous day's program. I got a content warning saying that I was naming people, but I was showing a news article with people's names in it. It's public information already, but somebody reported me. So you get people getting reported for nonsense like that. And then other stuff is being told like, hey, hydroxychloroquine will help you with COVID, and it won't. And in fact, it turned out it hurt people. But that kind of stuff really flies on social media. And we've always had crazy conspiracy theories. So don't give me that argument either, because listen, we've always had crazy conspiracy theories, but we haven't always had the ability to feed them right to the people who are most vulnerable to believing them. And anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 15% of the population is highly suggestible, right? You guys get that? Highly suggestible. They're easily influenced, right? Easily influenced people can be convinced of emotional arguments that don't have any real truth to them. And there's nothing against you getting completely radicalized on social media. There's nothing to stop it. You know why? Because you can't really sue them. Section 230 says it's not their fault. What if you have a child that is predisposed to paranoid schizophrenia? For those of you who have dealt with that, you know just how bad it is. What if you have a child that's living alone and really struggling with mental health issues? Let's say that that child is watching YouTube over and over again, and the YouTube algorithm figures out, oh, this kid really is reacting to stuff. He's clicking on emojis, he's commenting, he's reading these articles. They're tracking how long he's reading. Now let's say he doesn't have that great a grip on what's real and what's not real, which is a simple way of saying, let's say he's prone to psychosis, where you either believe things that aren't real or you might hear or see things that aren't real. And let's say he keeps watching these YouTube videos, the algorithm says, oh, he might like this stuff, and they start feeding him ISIS recruitment videos, which have been snuck into YouTube, and they're They're probably there all the time. Now, YouTube will claim, well, we get rid of that stuff. But yeah, how fast do you get rid of it? How fast do you want to get rid of it? Because remember, enraged equals engaged, and engaged equals money. Right? You guys feeling me on this so far? So let's say the ISIS recruitment videos start bombarding your kid. And maybe he's also, we'll go for a double here, maybe he's also getting bombarded with videos that say abortion unalives babies, even though it's a lie, but it feels terrible, right? The idea, it's so upsetting. And if you're already struggling with mental health issues, you might decide to go join ISIS and blow yourself up. Or something, or put yourself in harm's way to such an extent that you end up dying. And that really did happen. That's a true story. And the family tried to sue YouTube. I don't think it's still winding its way through the system. I think the case got thrown out because of, this will be on the exam, Section 230, people. The family of the young man that was radicalized on YouTube. Now, yes, it was a special case. Yes, it's not entirely YouTube's fault. Yes, they will eventually take down the ISIS videos, but guess what? The ISIS videos will pop right back up. Will it be your kid next time? That's kind of a general theme of the Brother Seamus Show and the Brother Seamus experience. I want you to just think about, even if you don't have kids, what if you had a son or a daughter that was struggling with mental health and they got on an app, a product, and that product harmed them measurably, observably, catastrophically. And then Mark Zuckerberg and friends, they just say, well, you can't sue us. You can't really sue us. You can try, but you won't because Section 230 says we're not guilty. Now, Fox News, on the other hand, was found criminally liable for lying about the 2020 election. They lied about it and defamed the voting machine company, and they had to pay a massive settlement, massive, because network TV, if you lie, if you defame people, you can be legally held accountable. Why can't we do that to social media? Somebody want to tell me why? I'll tell you why, because Marky Mark and gang bought themselves enough Senate approval. I won't say they bought a senator. I won't say they bought a senator. But when you have that much money, you can get away with a lot of stuff. So what are we going to do about it? I need to go because I got 7 minutes and I've got a hot date to watch a Christmas movie. I'm thinking Uncle Buck, even though it's not really. Is it a Christmas movie? I feel like it is, but it may not be. Let me know your favorite Christmas movie. It looks like they know I'm talking about the election, and they gave me a little election thing, which is fine. Your brother Seamus aims to tell the truth at all times. Sometimes I get things wrong, and because that's what humans do, people. But social media gets things wrong for profit, and they're studying you. So step one, step away from social media, including this program if you can. I know it's ironic that I'm reaching out to social media users telling them that social media is toxic, which it is. It's highly toxic. I don't think we quite understand how bad it is for us, but in a nutshell, it gets us so unbelievably amped up that we're in this kind of heightened emotional state where we are perceiving our neighbors as our enemies, and it's super dangerous. And I know some of you love the candidate from Mar-a-Lago, but I think he mastered the use of social media in this way to manipulate people, and it's pretty scary. You may hate Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, whoever. You may hate all those people. You may hate all the Democrats, but they're not really encouraging violence. They're not talking about violence against their neighbor. They're not calling the candidate from Mar-a-Lago's supporters the enemy from within. They're not dehumanizing immigrants, calling them rapists and murderers. That's all coming from the right. Now, it could, before you get mad at me, like, you're coddling the left, man. You got to pick on the left, too. Well, anybody can get extreme. It just so happens that it's happening on the political right now. And the hard right political people really, really want to control women's bodies. So as much as you can, get off of social media. I know some of you can't. But reconnect with people around you. I know a lot of you don't want to go out and talk to your neighbors, but you know what? They're just people. You don't have to agree with them about abortion. You can just say, look, I feel differently. I feel like it's not a baby until the consciousness is there. And my neighbor Mandy might be like, no way, conception. And I would say, that's fine, but what are we going to do about women having miscarriages? Are we going to let them die? And I think most people, even if they think abortion is wrong, they're like, well, that's wrong too. You can't let women die. They're fully functioning adult women. We're going to let them die? Come on, people. How come I'll just leave you with this question. How come the rights of a fully developed human woman with a uterus, how come that's not worth as much as a fetus that doesn't even have a fully functioning brain? We've spent too much time, and the far right has put an incredible amount of effort into convincing you that it's a baby, and it's not. And I know that's upsetting for some people, but I promise it's not a baby. I want to point out I'm wearing a button here that says vote. And I think you know why. Because it's quite possible, it says vote, damn it. It's quite possible that the same people that took away Roe v. Wade, which is what guaranteed women a national right to abortion, they've been trying to do that since I was a kid. But if only 64% of us show up to vote, which is about what we do in the United States, we're not going to make it. You're not going to beat extremists when a third of the population is sitting out. And for most Americans, once they're registered to vote, they're very highly likely to turn up, like 90% likely to turn up. So if you want to do just one thing, once you've recuperated, once you're feeling better, go out and just try to get your neighbors registered. You don't have to walk all over the city. Just do your neighborhood. Knock on the doors and say, look, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I want everybody to vote because that makes us healthier. And it generally, when you get more people to turn out, let's say we get to 80%, we won't have as much extremism. But we also got to repeal Section 230 because we're not going to get anything done with that bullshit running around. We have to be able to sue the media companies. That's what you want to tell your state rep. That's what you want to tell your member of Congress, your senators. We need to hold the social media companies accountable for the observable harm they cause. And you can say, I heard some crazy psychologist talking about it. And it's not, I didn't come up with this. It's been observable to mental health professionals for a long time that social media can completely overwhelm people's sense of reason. Because it's strong emotion. If they got rid of abortion, guess what they would want next? I don't know if you can see it with the filter on. It says legalize marriage. Well, marriage is already pretty much legalized. Hey, we're getting a call. Let me see who it is. It's probably my girlfriend. She's probably like, where the hell are you? Oh, shoot, I can't find my phone app. Where is it? There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, hang on. Stay on the line, caller. Oh, I missed him. Well, that's too bad. It took me too long to get back over to my Google phone app. I hope you're leaving me a message there. I'd appreciate it. There you are. There you are. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Brother Seamus. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second, bro. Let me get you. I think you're saying some shit that I can't hear, so hang on 1 second, bro. Hang on 1 second. This is coming through the headphones only. How's it going, bro? I don't know what that means, bro. Well, that's not very nice. That was an angry young man, ladies and gentlemen. But I couldn't get the audio to work. I don't know if you could hear it. There were a lot of F-bombs being dropped. It seemed vaguely threatening, so I'm gonna just say not a great caller. But hey, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort. It seemed a little bit like that caller wasn't quite coherent or really understanding. Or maybe it was me. Hard to say. I don't think I understood. It seemed like that person might have been somewhat agitated, perhaps, as a result of social media. Let's see if I can see. Nope, not a message. Nope. Well, I'm not going to publish that person's number because I think that's a mistake. Yeah, like I said before, you don't have to agree with me. But before the call came in, I think what I was getting at is social media is really, really fucking us up. And I just want people to be aware of that. I want people to be aware that after 30 years as a psychologist, I've never seen anything like this. And I hope you'll go outside, and I hope you'll talk to people. And one thing I'd recommend, if you do get caught up in these rabbit holes of emotional logic, think of somebody in your life that probably disagrees with you about political stuff, but also cares about you as a person. And if you haven't alienated that person, I would say give them a call, or better yet, go see them. Community can do wonderful things for you, people. Community can really do wonderful things. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has been the Brother Seamus Show. Welcome to the Brother Seamus Show. 1, 2, 3, 4. I apologize for any threads that I may have left dangling. Had a hard time picking up that call. I'll get better though, people, I promise. I promise I'll get better. Here's a 10,000 millisecond slide to the left just to show you my good intentions. Hey, welcome everybody. I have to go because it's time. It's Saturday night and it's movie night. It's Christmas movie night. I think maybe Home Alone might be a good one to watch tonight. I hope you'll let yourself, if you were very upset by the election, I hope you'll let yourself recover first, because you're not doing anybody any good if you're running yourself ragged and you're feeling terrible about things. But once you're back in the game, just remember it's a marathon, people. It is a marathon. We've got a lot of work to do, and the first thing I think we have to do is understand how toxic this medium is, this way of reaching you. So get off of social media if you can. Go outside if you can. Get some sunlight in through your eyes in the winter, especially if you're in a gray place like Walla Walla, Washington. Move your body around as much as you can. Talk to people. Build your hyper-local community. Maybe write an article for your local paper if you have one. It's probably, a lot of places don't have local news anymore. That's another way that we can connect. That's way healthier. And I'll be back to talk more about how social media is toxic and how abortion saves women, even though that upsets a lot of people. We have to talk about it. A fetus isn't a baby. An egg is not a chicken. And a seed is certainly not an apple. A seed is certainly not an apple. Thanks for the call, whoever you were. I think you were really mad at me, but I don't know. If you were the caller, please call me back after hours, and you'll get a voicemail. And I hope you'll leave me an extended message. Maybe less threats and more content. You know, I do better with less. Fewer threats, people. Fewer threats. All right, that's it. I gotta go, or I'm gonna be in trouble. Go watch a movie. Have fun with your friends around you. And remember, social media, Facebook, is a product, and if it harms you, you should be able to redress your grievance in civil court. So let's make that happen. And also remember that at Facebook, you're the product. You're the product at Facebook, people. Don't forget that. Don't forget that you're the product at Facebook.